We have a report here from Android Police. Nearby sharing, Android's Airdrop competitor is rolling out in beta. This is a welcome thing. Thank goodness for that.
Oh, yeah.
An actual uniform drop a file from Android to Android. They're calling it nearby sharing by the looks of it. And it works as a share button in your share menu, but that looks like a separate app. And you're going to click on that, at which point you can select a variety of files. Obviously, pictures, videos are going to be popular ones. It will work like AirDrop in the sense that you could spit out a file to anyone who's willing to take it as well.
Right.
Depending on the privacy settings that you set up. So you could have something contacts only, for example, if you want to keep it a little bit more private. The feature is obviously super early for the time being. It's in beta, actually. And it's rolling out to some users. But we actually do have, it's not a leak, it's just a beta version. We have some screenshots here of what it's going to look like. And I mean, this is just basically, this is a little bit of catch up if we're being honest, because this is a great experience on Apple AirDrop. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, very seamless.
You want to just, and in Apple's case, it extends beyond iPhone to iPhone and it goes into iPhone to Mac OS, which is also very convenient and an obvious advantage. And it's one of the areas that you really want Google to focus on, being, of course, Android boss, really. If they want to set a new standard and put something out there that, it's a word you don't hear a lot anymore, fragmentation. You remember that word?
Oh, yeah.
Early Android days?
Yeah.
What about fragmentation? Well, it's true that in some weird areas, it still sort of exists. And this is one of the, maybe you could argue messaging as well on Android, where iMessage has been, people love iMessage. No one ever says, I love my messages on Android. They just say, I use WhatsApp or I use whatever messaging app. They typically say, now, maybe that's better.
Yeah.
For the record, nothing against, there is something to be said for having your messaging platform not be specific to your device.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that iMessage and FaceTime should be together?
Together in what way? Oh, one app.
As like one platform, one app kind of thing.
It's interesting.
Because it falls under communication.
Yeah, I hear you. But they're not necessarily the same customer. I think some people who use iMessage don't even think about it, don't even care about it. I'm just sending a message. It might as well be a text to them. Some users.
I see.
FaceTime, on the other hand, it's a very branded experience. You will hear in regular life, oh, just FaceTime me as a verb, a thing you can do. Whereas messaging is still messaging. People just love iMessage. Do you know what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Does that make any sense to you? A little bit.
A little bit.
I don't know. I feel like the FaceTime brand is actually, and the iMessage brand, they're pretty strong on their own. So why would you lose one? Right? If you're talking about it on Google, it gets funky. You talk about it on Google, you stop talking about Google products. This is my point. You start talking about messaging on Google, you start talking about WhatsApp, Facebook product. I mean, we use Slack. Who owns Slack? I don't know. Maybe they're on their own. But you start talking about alternative third-party messaging apps, which brings up a whole different series of questions.
Yeah.
And on Apple's side, on the other hand, you have people who use FaceTime to talk about video conferencing as if Apple invented it, like Kleenex. FaceTime is the Kleenex of video conferencing tissue paper.
Well said.
Anyway, this is good. This is a welcome thing. I hope it goes out of beta and onto devices sooner than later. I hope it works. I hope it's quick and all the rest of it. People having fun with the AirDrop stuff on iOS. Now Android people get to participate, get to partake. But also credit where credit's due, because not that the technology is independent to Apple, but Apple certainly popularized the idea of just dropping files left and right.